much thought do you put into how a band-aid works? And what does that have to do with manifesting? Stick around. Let's talk about it. So, band-aid bandages. We all know them. We've all used them, or the generic counterparts. Little fun fact, these bandages were invented in the 1920s because a new bride really wasn't such a very good cook yet, and she kept cutting her fingers. And her poor husband, who got so tired of having to treat those cuts with, cotton gauze and mercurochrome, just happened to work in a factory that made surgical dressings. So he got a little bit of cotton, put a little bit of fabric over it, stuck an adhesive on the other side, and suddenly things got a lot easier for treating his new wife's little scrapes and burns. And when he took it to his factory owner, the owner thought it was a brilliant idea. It was something we could use. It's something we can go out and produce and become the brand known as Band-Aids. But have you ever thought about exactly how the bandage works? I mean, you put it on the cut, you wrap it up tight, you change it after you get it wet. But do you think about what's going on underneath that bit of adhesive? Do you sit there and think about what's involved in knitting back together your damaged skin? Or do you trust that your body is going to know exactly what to do as long as you give it the right environment to do it in? Well, manifestation works the same way. You have to trust that the energetic form knows exactly what to do as long as you give it the proper environment to work in. So that means you have to keep it free of negativity. You have to keep it free of re-injuring the site. You have to keep it free of the doubts and the slings and the bolt stones and the, oh, I can't possibly do this, that we tend to throw at our manifestations all the time. When you're creating your manifestation, you are looking at the situation that needs to change, the cut on your finger. You are looking at what you have that will make that change happen more quickly, more easily, and with less chance of being derailed. The bandage. Maybe even Neosporin if you're really fancy. You put the bandage over the cut to protect it. You wrap it up tight. You keep an eye on it. If the bandage gets wet or damaged, you replace it. You check every couple of days to make sure that there's no infection, but other than that, you leave it alone, because if you sit there and pick at it, if you sit there and peel the scab off, all you're going to do is make the scar worse and slow the healing process. How many times in your manifestation have you set it in motion and then picked at it, gone in and looked at it and said, I don't see anything yet, what is going on? And maybe even ripped the scab off so that you could see the healing, and thereby slowed down the entire process? Now let's take that on a bigger scale. Suppose you had a broken leg and the doctor put a cast on it. What would happen if after a week you sat there with a Dremel and cut the cast off? Would it be any good at all in your healing at that point? How much would the doctor look at you and say, what were you thinking, if you went and showed him what you'd done? How long would the doctor spend explaining to you, and please excuse me for getting a drink, how much time would the doctor spend explaining to you why cutting the cast off was a bad idea? If you did it repeatedly, how many times would it take before you got evaluated for a psychological problem? You need to trust that your body knows how to heal itself. You need to trust that your manifestation knows how to come into your life. It's the same level of trust either way. But either way, the more you pick at it, the more you tear it apart, the more you look at it to see why it hasn't happened yet, the more you're going to delay the results that you want, and the more damage you'll do to your goal in the process. So hopefully that cleared things up a little bit. I do hope that it's given you something to think about why you need patience in your manifestation coming to you, about why you need to trust your manifestation to come in. If you have any questions, put them in the comments or send me an email, marnarenee@gmail.com. I love getting those and I always take the time to answer them. If you are really having problems with this and you need the doctor to sit there and explain to you why cutting the cast off was a bad idea, I do personal coaching. It's no big deal. I will be happy to help you in making sure that you are providing the best environment possible for your manifestation to come in quickly and easily. I am Marna, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.